E and R star Braeden hits Candid about ups and downs after losing his home. I will explain everything. Never miss this video. Please subscribe to the channel. For the young and the restless star Braeden, Victor Newman, it has been a time of highs and lows. In real life, the actor lost his home in the Pacific Palisades fires last month, even though he will celebrate his 45th anniversary on the top soap opera on February 8. It has been somewhat strange. Braeden concedes, "You experience emotional ups and downs, but we'll take it one step at a time. Insurance-related concerns exist, and the situation is quite challenging. I gazed into the debris when I saw the ashes and thought of my wife and my beloved granddaughter sitting there before Christmas and talking about her travels and experiences. However, you're never truly ready for life's unexpected turns. I am somewhat optimistic since I grew up during the Second World War, which was arguably worse. You simply anticipate. Screw everything." For Braeden, being able to focus his energies on playing Victor has been a pleasant diversion. "Oh, all right," he nods. It gives you a little relief from the constant concerns and worries because you need to focus in order to perform the scenes. According to Braeden, he and his family are discussing their next course of action about their home and property. "We're working on the strategy," he says. "I don't want to dive right in. We currently plan to rebuild, but it depends on insurance companies providing us with coverage in those locations. That's going to be a tremendous problem. On the one hand, they would want to rebuild the Palisades and other communities like it quickly because it's an enormous tax base and finances all kinds of other situations in the city. So it is in everyone's interest to rebuild quickly. But that can only happen after a thorough cleaning up of the soil, etc. Thus, everything is now being worked on. I don't believe anyone." A bright spot for his family has been the success of Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, which was written and directed by Braeden's son, Christian Budagast. "It was #1 in the box office for a while, and I couldn't be happier," Braeden enthuses. "It's interesting how life works. That was an enormous feeling of success and happiness, and then on the other hand, you are reminded of what you lost. 40 years of accumulated memories." Another high point is that he's celebrating 45 years on Y&R, something Braeden never could have envisioned when he first began working on the soap in 1980. "If you had told me that then I would have said you're crazy," he muses. But there are a host of reasons why he has stuck around Genoa City for over 4 decades. "I love the show and I love playing the character. He is self-made. He is suspicious. He's tough. He's hard. But he's also vulnerable, and he wants family more than anything because he didn't have it growing up in an orphanage. It's difficult for Victor to trust. And this is all inherent in the groundwork that Y&R's co-creator and former head writer Bill Bell laid. Although he is perhaps the most identifiable face from the series, Braeden is conscious of the reach his character has, but he refuses to claim sole responsibility for Victor's success. "It is difficult to define in the end," he says. "A person's success in this industry is difficult to determine. It's a marriage of being at the right place at the right time with the right people on the right network. Actually, it's serendipitous." When pressed to name something he wishes he could have played more in his 4+ decades, Braeden responds, "Well, I kind of regret that there wasn't this ongoing relationship with Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson. That could have always been looming in the background. But other than that, to be frank with you, no. I have enormous respect for the writers because I would not want to do what they do. I really would not. I don't know how they do it. Do I disagree sometimes? Well, of course. Sometimes you do, but it is my task to make it real. That is the challenge, and it's more of a challenge than you realize. But writers are the most unsung people in this business, really. I also know from my son. I know what he goes through when he writes a script." Braeden reveals that he still gets a thrill when he has a good day at the studio. "It's in the little moments," he explains. "I just did a scene with Christian Leblanc, Michael Baldwin, and he and I talked about it afterward, and he did something in the scene, and I did something in the scene that suddenly made it all more real. I cannot often predict what I'll do in a scene, but when you really listen and suddenly something comes to you, boom, it's those moments I cherish. I love them. I don't know why that excites me, but it does. While this focus over the years has been firmly on the soap, one memorable project Braeden was a part of was playing John Jacob Astor IV in the 1997 blockbuster, Titanic. Braeden says he knew it would be a hit, despite some concern from those around him. I'm the only one who did, he recalls. And I remember being interviewed by famed variety writer Army Archard. He said, "Why are you the only one who says this is going to be a success? Everyone else is afraid it will sink 20th Century Studios and sink Paramount because it costs too much money." I said, "Very simple. It's a soap opera, a very expensive soap opera. And I know something about soap operas." While the film was being made, Braeden and his family had a unique encounter. He relates, "My wife and my son, who was a film student at the time, wanted to visit the site. James Cameron is one of the industry's geniuses, in my opinion. He is extremely knowledgeable about filmmaking. He halted the shooting and showed us the first 5 minutes that were cut together after escorting my wife, son, and son's girlfriend inside his trailer. I felt shivers. You're going to make a ton of money," I told him as I turned to face him. "From your mouth to God's ears," he added. At the time, I was aware that it would be extremely profitable and that Leonardo DiCaprio was. It's the realization when I drive to work that I have a job, Braeden says when asked what has kept him in Genoa City over the years. "We provide entertainment for millions of people worldwide, which makes you feel obligated to perform as best as you can while also bringing you some joy. On the show, we have some really talented actors, working with Joshua Morrow, Nick Newman, Mark Grossman, Adam Newman, Amelia Heinel, Victoria Newman, Melissa Ordway, Abby Newman, who I haven't seen much of lately, Melody, Thomas Scott, Nikki Newman, of course, Peter Bergman, Jack Abbott, Christian Liblink, Michael Baldwin, and Crystal Khalil, Lily Winters is a pleasure. They're all fantastic." Braeden states that he has no immediate plans to leave his position. "No," he answers emphatically. "During talks and other situations, there were undoubtedly times when you said, 'Okay, that's it. Bon voyage,' and everything always turns out ok. However, the performers I collaborated with on evening TV and movies in the 1960s are either no longer employed or have passed away. I'm a bitch's stubborn son. I remain here. No more today." What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this.